Alright, so we're back. Time for the intake. We'll do the intake and clean up all this wiring. Some of the wiring that needs to be changed will be my coils. My coil packs are now down there, so I'm gonna have to find out. I'll probably end up having to get a little 2-foot extension, but instead of being plugs up here, somehow I'm gonna have to figure out how to route it and plug it up down below, and that's on both sides. The other side, I don't think I'll need I shouldn't need a extension. I'll probably just, hopefully I can just pull the wiring out of this one over here. It's going to be a longer run, I believe, so it may take an extension. I may have to buy a little 2-foot extension, and or maybe I just splice a little more wire in there. We'll see. What's another change? Got my wideband here. Not much of a wiring change for that. O2, one of my O2 sensors is right here. The other one is over there. So passenger side O2 sensor and my driver side O2 sensors have changed. At least the location. I don't think I'll need more wire. I'm hoping just be able to carry it straight along, maybe next to the fuel rail here, and shoot it in like that. A lot of it's just going to be cleanup. You notice all this wire is just, I'd like to get looms for all of it. For whatever reason, I didn't do looms on all wire before that, plus I may have been adding some. Oh, another thing is I'm relocating the ECM. Originally I just had it laid flat right here. Well, now this is where my cold air intake's coming in, so the cold air from the intercooler is coming straight up into this hole right here. So the plan is, I think I'm gonna be able to get away with just laying it vertical right here. I did a test fit earlier. It fit relatively well. We'll play it by ear, but that'll be the first thing I need to do, is see about relocating that. Yeah, let me see if I can start laying some wire out before I throw the intake up there. Right here's for my starter. Get it laid in place. See about getting some of my oil knock sensors, stuff like that, plugged in before it gets too crowded with that intake. Yeah, let's try that. Got my oil feed line routed somewhat, not really. It's plugging the hole down below on the other side, but I just got loosely laid up here. I threw the intake up in here just so I can kind of get the wires figured out where they're going to go. Here's that one O2 sensor, driver side O2 sensor. It was in this wire bundle here. I started fishing it out. It is going to be going right here. So my plan was to fish this all the way out so that I could pull it out of this wire bundle right here, but I got so much of it. I think what I'm going to try to do is just double it up, tape it back up into this bundle right here, and maybe just poke it out with these other wires. Just have a small little pigtail right here. I mean, I got plenty of room right here, so that's what I'm thinking there. I still have my, I believe it's my cam sensor and my oil pressure sensor back there that I've got to hook up. I've got a pile of grounds that I need to put on the back of this head, tied to the back of the head here. Here is my wideband, comes through my firewall here, and it's just loosely laid up here. Same with my, this goes to the oil pressure for the gauge. That one right there, the one on the top back of the motor, all that does is go to the computer. This is the one that actually goes to the gauge. Obviously still got to do my gas lines, my vacuum for my brake booster. This is another thing this I'm gonna have to work on. This is for the coils, the coil packs. My coils are now way down there underneath this header. So I'm gonna go ahead and do just like I did for the O2 sensor. I'm gonna break this apart and see if I can fish this all the way down in this area, and hopefully I'll have enough slop or slack in the wire that I can run it over to my coil packs down there underneath the header. On this side, here's the here's where it comes out for the passenger coils. It would normally get plugged in right here, but it is way down there as well. I'm not going to be able to fish any slack out to reach all the way down there, so I'm going to end up having to get online. I know they make a little 2-foot extension for these coils for those that relocate their coil packs, so I'm going to have to look into that. I still need to put my intake air temp in there, or rewire that I should say. Coil packs, driver's side, it's the one that's way down up underneath there. I figured I'd be able to pull it out and down. Well, I did, with the exception of, you see a splice there and a splice there. Evidently there's a pink and a black, which I'm going to assume is 12-volt ignition, and a black meaning ground is jumpered from here, and I'm going to only assume that it goes to the passenger side. So there was no pulling slack. I tried laying it all down as much as I could, and I was missing that right there. You can see how much wire I added, and it's that's going to be plenty. Splice number 1 right there. Yeah, we'll see. If I ever have any problems with my coils on the passenger side, I know where to come looking. Hopefully I got a good connection. So yeah, let's carry on. I believe I've got just about everything put back in. Well, I take that back. I still got more stuff I gotta do. But let's see, what do I got? I ended up having to put my dipstick in. I forgot all about it, and that was a pain getting this thing fished through there past my coil packs and getting it bolted in there. So especially around this this flipped header. I did order my coil pack, that little extension wire. It'll be a couple days before it gets here, but this right here is a it just goes to my boost gauge. It's a little, who is it? AEM, that's right, AEM little boost manifold air pressure gauge. So I gotta plug, this is the sensor, I gotta plug it in and shoot it. I'll run it probably right next to my AEM wideband as well. Shoot it into the corner over there, probably have to drill another friggin' hole. I did go ahead and start putting all the cold side piping on. Got this all tight all the way up here. You can tell there's a little bit of not quite 90-degree angles there. I got my IAT, inlet air temp sensor, plugged in and wired up. All my new injectors have been installed. What I'm running into now, or what I'm fighting now, is that's my power steering reservoir. It was mounted right here onto this framework and just drained straight down into my power steering pump down there. Trying to figure out where to mount this reservoir. This is actually, think about it, it's a pretty big reservoir. This came off of a work van, Chevy Express, or actually GMC work van. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. I think I finally come down to it. This right here is just a recirc back to tank. I'm gonna cut it off, plug weld it, This right here is actually what feeds down to the pump. That's your little reservoir line, feed line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut this top mounting bracket off. I'm thinking about mounting it like that, and I'll end up putting a right there. I'll put a plate and bend it up and weld it to the back side of this little tank. That's my plan so far. We'll see, but as far as all the wiring goes, I think I'm done. Two things is that coil pack and my boost gauge. I can live without the boost gauge. I ain't gonna get too far without that coil pack. Alright, so I finally got this this power steering reservoir made up. Just did a little plug weld right there. Actually, I threw a screw in there, a little 1/4x20 button head bolt in there, seal welded that, made this little jacked up looking bracket, welded it up on there. I already put some mounting holes in here, so let me try putting this thing together and see if it works. Alright, so I got the reservoir mounted, nice tight, hose installed. I got a little braided, what do you call that, a little heat shield, little braided hose thing. Anyways, it's running a couple inches below my exhaust, so I had that and I was like, why not? So I slipped it up over that hose. I think I'm to the point where I'm ready to crank this thing, and when I'm cranking, all I'm wanting to do is build oil pressure. So I installed a new oil pressure transmitter down there. Should go to my gauge only. I have the stock oil pressure transmitter or sensor going to the ECM down here, which I should be able to read on my laptop. I pulled my turbo oil feed line off, stuck it in just in a jug here. So, I mean, I'm obviously not going to be able to see it from inside, but one thing it'll do is help clean out this hose number 2. It's going to prove to me that I'm getting oil to my turbo. Like I said, all I'm doing is just a crank. I actually pulled the fuse from my fuel pump, so it will not the fuel pump will not start up. I do not have any coolant. It's still empty. I've got good oil level, trans level. It's on the stick, which is good enough for this. I topped off my power steering. Brakes, I need to look at it, but that doesn't apply for what I'm doing now. So let me try cranking this for a little while and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I just started getting some oil pressure. You see it, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this right there, that 2.2. Go ahead and give her a little crank again. Well, it was going up to 15. My battery's dying on me. Whenever it gets a certain level, it quits talking to this HP tuner. So let's give this battery a chance to catch up. Alright, let's try this again. There's a 2.2 psi currently. Let's see if we can get some more pressure. Oh yeah, see, y'all got up to 30 something psi. I installed a new pressure transmitter as well for my gauge. Pay no attention to that. Let's see if it's reading. It's wanting to. It bumped up a little bit, so I'm happy with that. I really need to get that fixed. Let me go check my little bucket out there and see if I got any oil. I see a couple drops. I would have expected to see more. It's dripping. So, all right, I got this thing going again. I actually put oil pressure on here, so we should start seeing. In fact, I'll start a trend now. Yeah, you'll see pressure there. Might be easier to follow that. I'm really anxious to get this thing up and going. So I want to see a full stream of oil, or at least a significant amount of oil in that jug for my oil feed, for the turbo feed. That's my goal. And then from there we'll move on to the next step of this little startup process. But alright, what did we get up to? About 30 something. So that's good. Let's see if I got any more oil. I hope so. Yeah, I can see more in the bottom there. Still just barely dripping, but actually I'm gonna get my son to come out here and crank this thing over while I watch it. See what happens. Yeah, stand by. It'll flow, hopefully it'll flow good oil. Keep doing it.
Just hold it?
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
You look good?
Good enough, yeah. I started this thing twice. Everything looked pretty good. I'm running rich. I think my AFR was showing like 12. I only ran for a couple minutes. I do not have cooling water going in this. I don't have any water. So I only ran it for a couple minutes twice. I just wanted to see my oil pressure come up. Came up to about 60. Like I said, I am running rich. May mean something to do with the injectors. I got new injectors on here. I think they're 97-pound injectors. Honestly, I want to make sure this thing is going to get up and run in a safe condition, good oil pressure. I want to verify this IAT, this inlet air temperature, make sure that sensor is working. That's a new sensor. I ended up having to wire it up, so I need to make sure that that's working. Obviously the injectors are doing what they're doing. My manifold air pressure, I changed it, the settings on it, changed it up to a I think I changed it to a 3-bar. I know I bought a 3-bar and I put it on there, and it comes with an offset and some sort of scaling and offset. I put that data into HP tuners, downloaded all that, as well as my injector data. Hook up cooling water, fill that up, prime it, get it all good to go. I'll probably do another heat cycle on it, do another leak check on everything without this going into the intake. Do that once or twice, maybe then I'll stick the intake, or stick that goes out to the goes into. I've already got one company that I want to give a phone call to. They're pretty close. See if they can tune this thing. Alright, so I'm ready for a real heat cycle. Filled my radiator up. One thing I've learned about filling the radiator and the whole system up is I always pull this top hose and try to fill through the outlet of the water pump. It just pre-fills everything a whole lot more, or more better, or I don't know how you want to say it, but I've had problems before where I'll just fill the radiator up with all the hoses and everything connected, and I don't know if it doesn't pull a prime on the pump or if it's just air bound, but I don't even know if it has anything to do with the thermostat being closed on a cold new motor. But I've actually ruined a pump before, and that's what I'm blaming it on, is it was air bound. So tech tip, try filling from the top of the water pump. I mean, you can fill this all the way up to, 3/4 of the way, but then I'd start flowing water in that way. I wanted to wait for this fan just to verify that the fan kicked on. It did kick on. So I think it was set to 205. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, but that's where I got my fan to kick on at. So it kicked on. The water level, now it's up about right here. Before, it was way down there. I started putting a little more water in there, and I was like, I really shouldn't be doing this. I already had a warm, hot radiator. I didn't want to throw cold water in there and possibly crack something, so the only thing I was waiting on was my fan to kick on just to verify that. It did. Something else I'm worried about is this little hose right here is for it's supposed to be coming off the heads for onto the cooling ports. It's supposed to vent off steam. It's a high point vent. It's supposed to go back to your radiator. It's laying up against my wastegate. I need to reroute it, get it up. Ideally, it's supposed to be the highest point. I do have one leak I noticed down below. It's coming from this transmission line going into my radiator. I'll snug it up when everything cools down a little bit. I was running a little bit lean based on my wide band under my turbo exhaust. So, but it eventually worked its way down. I don't know if that was the short-term trim. What is next? I'm probably going to do another heat cycle I'm gonna let this thing cool all the way down. Do another heat cycle. Next step is going to be to get this thing professionally tuned. I'm gonna take it to I'm gonna try to take it to a real tuner. With this being a turbo, I don't know, new injectors. I removed my mass airflow sensor and swapped it out with an inlet air temp sensor. Changed my bar, my manifold, MAP, yeah, my manifold air pressure. I changed that out from a stock to a 3-bar. All of that being changed, I just want to take it to somebody that's done this a few times, let them hopefully do it right the first time. Get this thing on a trailer and get it to a tune. Alright guys, that's all I got. I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably do another heat cycle. Tighten up this leak, move this hose. After this thing cools down, I'll verify what my coolant level is, top it off. That's all I got, guys. Next time. Until next time, later.